Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And
now, I was going to say, this is another Halloween one. I know Halloween has just passed, but Sarah and I both thought it was a good idea to add this one to our theme-based film reviews.
Bear with me, folks. As I've heard from Tim Burton, it's never too late to watch a Halloween-related movie. You know, even if it's too late to watch it during Halloween. So it's not a big problem, not to all of us here. So bear with me, folks. This is a goodie, and I think it was worth
think it's a
watching.
Goodie. No, we think, and even the reviewers like this one. That's a change, isn't it?
Yes, it is a change, and I can completely agree with them for once.
Well, we're all on the same page.
Anyway, it's called The Haunt.
Haunt. Haunt.
Yeah, and it was released in 2019, not too long ago.
Yes, pretty clear. Whatever.
Yeah. So
now,
it's pretty interesting. This one dabbles with mazes and horror haunts and attractions.
Yeah, the haunted house
like
sort of theme, horror attraction sort of things.
Yeah, I swear to myself that the last one was the last one we're going to do for Halloween, but I broke my rule and decided to do this one before we close the subject together.
Yeah, come on, give us another one. Yeah.
And I do think this one is promising. It's a lot better than the Fear Farm one.
I think it is better.
Yeah,
yes,
this one's a lot better.
Oh, no, I'm not knocking Fear Farm. It's just that I think the producers, directors, and whatever, and the writers concentrated a bit more on the Fear. I think Fear Farm was a bit more horror comedy, you think?
Horror comedy.
Yeah, this is just a slasher film, so it's going to be a bit darker, which is good. Yeah.
And the plot is not too bad, too. Anyway, Mike,
here we go, my usual bits. Produced by, there's a fair few people here. This doesn't even include the exec producers, okay? Now, here we go. Produced by Todd Garner, Mark Fasano, Vishal Rungta, and Ankar Rungta, and a name we all know and love from previous movies have done, Eli Roth.
Yeah, I've seen his name
pops up occasionally
in a lot of horror, maybe, and some other movies here and there. And he's been a good influence on some productions.
Yeah, he has. He's a good producer. Yeah, so he gets into it, into the right movies.
And from what I understand, he was also an independent filmmaker once upon a time.
A long time ago when he was a little Roth.
Yeah, where he would probably take a Super 8 and film his own films when he was a kid, when he was young.
Aha.
Which is interesting. Almost a lot of people who were came out from that generation years ago, and I almost wish the new generation would be accepted and brought into the industry.
Yeah, and also I don't care what you say. Mobile phones really don't cut it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just get a cheap DSL art. They do work a bit better,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Anyway, here we go. Directed by and written by two guys. Scott Beck and Brian Woods. So they both they obviously came up with the idea and they directed it, and they found some really nice guys to produce it for them. Isn't that lovely?
That's nice of them.
Now, don't know what the budget was. They made about 2.4 mil at the box office, but that's not a fair indicator because it only had a limited release before it went to the home media sort of thing. So we don't know. It ain't limited release. September 2019, it was released by Momentum Pictures. So whatever. Now, our main people are going to go run around and gradually get killed. I mean, our stars. Katie Stevens plays Harper. She's a nice girl. Okay. Will Brittain plays Nathan. Lauren McLean plays Bailey. Andrew Caldwell plays Evan. Shazzy Raja plays Angela. I think it's Skylar. Skylar Helford plays Mallory. Now, the other ones are the guys in the... they're our antagonists. They're all dressed up as ghosting goblins and stuff. Now, here we go. Cheney Morrow plays Ghost. Justin Markson plays clown. Damien Maffei, whatever, Maffei plays devil. Samuel Hunt plays Sam. So that's a boyfriend type guy. Yeah. He wasn't one of the mean guys. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to talk about before you start talking a little bit.
Yeah, I do think this one is worthwhile. I thought it was a great one to watch. I wish I'd I'm just glad the actual reviewers also agree with me on this one.
Yes, it is a change. Sometimes the reviewers say it's crap, and the box office says it's good, and sometimes the reviewers say it's great, the box office doesn't show it. So, I think the reviewers and us are on the same page. So we like to think it actually showed up pretty good on home media.
True. So I'll begin my storytelling.
Once upon a time. No.
So the story begins as Harper, who's a girl who's at a sort of sorority or something. Anyway,
is, living with some girls. Yeah.
Living with some of the girls, who's plagued by her ex-boyfriend, who's more of an abuser. I think he is.
He might have hit her a couple of times.
He probably hit her because we see her covering up her face with makeup.
A bit of makeup because he had a bit of a
dark bruise on her eye.
Dark on her eye where she's been hit. Yeah. Not very nice.
Not really nice, no. Anyway, she's told to come to this Halloween party that's done at another sorority. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, we don't know where it is.
We don't know where it is. Yeah. So the girls dress up. She doesn't dress up because, well, for reasons.
Well, too late. Didn't have time to get a costume. How's that?
But she soon goes.
That's a local bar they went to.
Oh, local bar, sorry. So they go to the place, and it's in full swing. She meets this nice guy named Nathan, I think he is. Yeah,
Nathan, yeah.
And they get along, and he remarks that she's in costume, she's wearing a red hood, and she could pull off playing a modern version of Red Riding Hood.
Oh, by the way, at this point in the club, she does see a man in a devil mask across the room, apparently looking at her.
Yeah.
But not moving, not towards her, not moving away. And she starts to get a little bit suspicious, wondering, a bit nervous.
She's given the impression by her boyfriend, this is him.
Yes, well, she thought I might have been him stalking her.
And we don't know yet. Anyway, the group, her and her friends and Nathan and another guy named...
Evan.
What?
Evan.
They are going. They hear about a Halloween haunt attraction, and they talk about other haunts that they wish to check out. And at the same time, they decide, let's go to this one. This one seems interesting. A lot of stuff has.
That's an extreme haunt.
So they drive, and then first we think, as they're driving, we see a car following them, and they think it's probably Sam, Harper's ex-boyfriend, driving,
following them
in a creepy stalker type sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
Well, somebody was in the car. I think it was the devil guy.
I think so too.
Stalking and sort of try to spook them a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, the kids soon drive up to the haunt attraction, which is called the haunt or haunted house, because you see the spelling of it seems like it reminds me a little bit of Hell Motel, or Motel Hell, where you see the bit of the words are in different sets of lighting, and you can tell right away it means something else completely. Anyway, they arrive there. It's, I think, a barn, I think from the dark.
There would have been a barn or a big shed that they've done the inside up.
Mike, you were saying you were watching the documentary.
I have only just started. Not on this one.
Okay, not this one.
No, don't talk about the documentary. It's a documentary about a guy in America who made a haunt. Okay, don't worry.
Okay, never mind, guys.
Nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with this one.
No,
sorry.
No.
Anyway, they arrive there, and a man dressed as a clown greets them, and he tells them, you don't have to pay. He doesn't say anything, actually. He barely, sometimes, most of these people don't say anything.
Yeah, he's very spooky by not saying too much. But they did have to sign waivers legally, so in case anything went wrong.
Yeah, so if to allow even some of the actors to touch touch them.
Yeah, the rules. Yeah,
or
you
brush against
cannot
them.
touch our actors and blah, blah, blah. And don't be naughty, do this. Yeah. You know the sort of rubbish.
Yeah, so they fill them out, and they're handed a key. He did it in a magic trick kind of creepy way.
Yeah.
And they open the door, and they head inside. As they're heading inside, they see some not so creepy stuff, like a skeleton popping out.
Yeah, the normal sort of stuff you
normal
expect.
stuff that you don't think is jump
the
scare
low-key stuff. Ah, yes, you're right. Kiddie stuff. Not for long.
Soon enough, they arrive in a bit of a fork in the road, if you call it
The
that way.
safe way or the not so safe way?
Yeah, Nathan and two of the girls, they go down one way, while Harper and Ethan and another girl, they go in the scary way. The not so scary way is full of the small, just ordinary stuff.
The ordinary stuff, but
Like,
looks can be deceiving.
like those weird mirrors that make your face
Yeah,
altered,
contort, yeah.
or
The mirror just in a mirror maze,
or
yeah.
Poking your hand into a hole and picking up a grape
And
instead
you
of,
think an eyeball.
or picking up spaghetti and thinking it's creepy
guts or something.
or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who's picked up a handful of cold, wet spaghetti?
Meanwhile, so
Yeah.
Harper's version includes real spiders, or we think they're real spiders.
Well, there were a couple, I think, but I think it was more imagery.
We also discover, or Ethan discovers, that some of the paint on the walls is fresh. Like they have just made the haunt just recently, not like just probably today, maybe.
Yes,
And it hasn't dried yet.
not totally.
Oh, I should mention, before they arrived there, another group of people were going inside there, and we don't see them again. Well, we do, actually. We see them much later. The Harper's group see a witch in a witch mask torturing the poor girl that they seen when they came in.
And they thought it was all part of the show.
Yeah, she gets dragged away. We don't see her again, and we are left to wonder whether that these were actors or just ordinary individuals. Harper, I think she feels like there's something is terribly wrong.
Something wicked this way comes. How's that? Pretty good?
Yeah, Harper and her group, they continue on, and as they're going down a small, little, sort of small corridor where they're just crawling on their hands and knees, as they're heading to the other end, one of their group disappears.
Yeah, it's like a long tube, like a tunnel, about
Like an air vent.
about a metre by a metre or something, rather. You have to crawl through, on your hands and knees. But she disappeared in there. Mm-hmm. But they were told later there's also a trapdoor in there, which you might have dropped through a trapdoor.
Something about if if more than one person goes in there at a time,
the trapdoor
springs open.
Yeah. But they can also do it to get people, so you can get the people to join the theatrics of it. As new victims.
Yeah, by the way, I should mention when the other group, the ones who were in the safe group, were poking their hands through the holes with spaghetti and the grapes, they poked their hands into another one, which kind of cut her friend's wrist and arm here and there. Lots of scars.
Those little utility knife type things with those little really, really sharp blades. Yeah, something like that were in there, and up and down her arms, she had all these little semi-deep cuts where she's bleeding, but not enough to be really, really bad, and didn't cut any veins or anything. Just enough to be pain on the arm.
Yes. Anyway, they soon arrive at the other end, and the rest of the group are freaking out, and then they see one of their members behind one of the walls. Well, not behind the wall. It's
a big glass, shatterproof glass sort of wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Oh,
no, it was actually
a chain fence.
A fence.
Yeah, fence. Yeah.
And they see their friend, and she's gets impaled by this iron.
Was it like a pitchfork? Was it?
I'm not sure.
They use different things in this movie. I can't remember every weapon they used.
It was either a fire
Yeah, these are branding iron type
Branding
thing for
iron.
the first girl.
Well, in this one, it's the same witch, and she
Yeah.
takes the fire thing and stabs it into the girl's temple,
Yeah. Just
killing her
this
instantly.
white hot piece of metal going through her head.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they think that they then run into another guy who's one of the costumer guys named Mitch. I think that's what he says.
Yeah, she says his name is Mitch.
And he says that he'll be able to lead them out, hopefully.
He seemed to be a good guy.
He seemed too good to be true, in other words.
Yeah, come on.
He does talk a bit. I think sometimes they did talk a little bit here and there. Anyway, so Nathan goes with him and tries to follow him back to where they came, and of course, as they're going through the small tunnel I mentioned, they then encounter that. Well, they go Nathan goes through the tunnel. Mitch goes first, and then as he's going through, he blocks the passage with a piece of wood.
Yeah, a piece of plywood. You think builder's ply or something or other.
Mm-hmm.
A few nails and whatever. So you're not going to get through it easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and as they're going, I guess he goes through the trapdoor, and he starts experiencing the behind the scenes. We then find out the clown, he's actually melted their phones.
He didn't melt. He put them in the microwave oven to fry their memory chips and everything else.
Yeah, he fries the memory chips so no one outside there will ever know what became of them.
Exactly, and they couldn't use them to get help either.
Yeah. Anyway, so eventually, Evan, whatever his name is, he does find his way out, but he gets cornered by Mitch, and Mitch kills him.
Yeah. Oh, didn't see that come, do we? No.
The girls, the rest of the group, they do get killed. I guess one of the girls gets abducted, and we don't see her again until later on. And Harper and Nathan are the only ones left to survive. Harper tries to continue playing their games, tries to find ways to get out. She finds a key which allows her to enter another room, which is kind of has the key, I guess, under the bed.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it sort of turns. It goes from a haunted attraction to an escape room in under a few minutes.
And reminds her of her bedroom when she was a kid, from memory. Yeah.
She goes under the bed, and she has a flashback to her past, back to her when she was little, where her dad was beating her mum and stuff like that. And it was very disgusting, horrible. Anyway, she eventually... before that, I should mention, she does confront the man with the devil face, and it's not her boyfriend per se. It turns out to be one of the hauntees. I'm going to call him
a hauntee.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he reveals that he's not Sam. He's a creepy man with
He'd be haunter, I think.
He has these weird earring piercings all over his face. He has some stuff that looks like horns protruding from his head. It's really horrible, creepy looking.
Okay.
Anyway, eventually she fights him off, and then she heads into the room I mentioned, and then he starts trying to get at her, and eventually using a special shotgun, which every time you hear it loading or reloading, it sings "Pop Goes the Weasel." It's a
bang. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time it ends, it then ends with a pop from the gun.
Yeah.
Anyway, she eventually was able to fight him off, and he gets popped by the gun. Who would have thought the guys who set it up somehow didn't even knew that the gun.
They knew, but they forgot about it. Possibly.
Yeah. They're the ones who organised it.
Oh, but you can't get good help nowadays, can you, guys?
They practically prepared. It was practically like they did everything to make it, constructed and everything, in every detail, all that stuff like that.
Actually, I'll stop you. These guys, as far as I figured out and read up on, these guys are actually part of a cult.
Ah.
And part of the cult is they would deform their faces by surgery and implants and stuff to make them look like demons. That's why when they took the mask, some of them took the mask off, they had, you mentioned the guy's face before. Yeah, they did that intentionally. They weren't actually demons, they were just people who change their features by doing naughty things to their skin. How's that?
Yeah, and of course the red devil one says, "I want to take off your mask." He says this to Harper. I think it symbolizes how Harper is hiding behind a mask. She's
mentally speaking, yeah.
In my opinion, that she is hiding the fact that about her abused father and is suffering under her horrible, abusive boyfriend, and feeling like she has to she feels like she has to shed her mask in order to survive this sort of ordeal.
Yes, exactly. And their idea of taking their mask off is getting a claw hammer, put it in your mouth and ripping your face off. I would rather not do that. Yes.
Anyway, she eventually fights the guys off, and eventually she was able to Nathan and her eventually fight off the one who looks like I think he was either a ghost or
well, several guys. There's a ghost and there's a zombie. Yeah.
And a witch one, which is not mentioned in the credits on who that person was. Obviously, not at least on my credit.
No,
Steve.
I didn't know there might either.
Strange.
No, witch didn't get a mention. Oh, damn it! It wasn't a non-speaking part.
Yeah, well, she did say something when they were about to escape through a hatch in the above.
Oh yeah, whatever.
And eventually, Harper was able to tear her apart, or tear that person apart.
Yeah, well, you can't have everybody in there.
She also encounters one of her friends wearing a mask, and assumes that.
Well, actually, you see the notes. You thought it was one of them, but the person, one of her friends, was dressed up by the naughty guys.
Yeah, her hands are bound and
zip tied,
and she has duct tape around her mouth,
so she can't talk.
She can't talk.
Yeah.
And Harper feels guilty about killing one of her friends. And as they continue on getting away, and the clown, the guy we meet at the beginning, he starts dosing the place with gasoline and plans on burning the evidence and everything in the barn.
Yeah, of course these kids, well, at least one of them got away, or two of them got away.
Oh, yeah, her boyfriend does come there using a GPS, because her Nathan was able to get one of the phones and dial in the
coordinates.
The coordinates.
Yeah.
Of course, Sam gets killed like all the others, and then. So anyway, back to where I was starting.
Yeah. Anyway, Sam, he's not there.
So
he dies.
the clown burns the place off to any evidence, all that stuff.
So all his dead people and the dead people who went in there, hopefully the bodies won't be found, but they will be later.
And Mitch gets his just desserts by getting himself a taste of his own medicine.
Mitch, whatever it is. Yeah.
Quickly, the kids then, finding no keys in the car, were able to get away, but they were able to find Sam's.
We think it was Sam's car.
I think it's Sam's car. They soon arrive at the hospital. It's getting dawn. I don't know how long they've been in there for, but it must have been for
overnight or whatever.
They soon arrive and they start getting themselves fixed up by the hospital. And we get a few dream sequences, and then when she's in the hospital, the nurse approaches her and asks her to fill out some forms.
Yeah,
and then she starts flashing back to the forms that she filled out at the haunt.
Yeah. But anyway.
Realizing that the haunt guys know her address. They know her contact details. They will probably start hunting her down soon enough.
Exactly.
Soon enough, we cross over to her house, and the clown, I said before, he arrives there, and he comes in there, and as he's stepping across the floor, his feet get stuck to the floor. Yeah,
because it's been set up as a trap for him, because what's the name again? Harper knew he was coming, so she set it up so she could take him out.
It reminds me a little bit of Home Alone in this scene. Anyway,
Home Alone.
Because in Home Alone they use glue and a nail here in some
nail on the ground or whatever.
And we do see a few nails, and eventually we see on the wall, which probably had a shotgun, and eventually the clown raises his head and sees the barrel shotgun, and sees
Harper
her
is there, and she's looking at him,
Bang,
and he's looking
bang,
back at her,
dead.
and it was not loving looks. It wasn't loving looks, no.
Bang, bang, he's dead.
Yep.
The end.
Yeah, he fade to black time.
Yeah.
No, actually, it sounds... It probably sounds average, but obviously looking at it for special effects and everything going on, the continuity, the movement, the action, it was pretty damn good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked it.
It had a
Yeah.
good combination, and I like the
Everything was good.
and
yeah.
I like the character development, especially
Yeah.
the coming of age, where she started growing as a person and started opening up to her friends about her past a little bit,
Exactly.
which she did in some of the scenes.
But anyway, what can we say?
And
about
of
it?
course, they didn't slow it down too much. They didn't pad it out with boring
No, it
stuff.
wasn't any padding like, hey, what do you want to do, Todd? I don't know. What do you want to do? Yeah, and that sort of stuff like they did in Hellfest, wasn't it?
Yeah, or Fear Farm,
Fear
where
Farm.
they kept on going on
Yeah.
about what they should do instead of what they should do.
that's-
Right? I mean,
Yeah, they waste too much time
Yeah.
getting into it. But
I'm
this
an
one
action-
this one got straight into it. Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
person of action, and I don't like where characters just go on and on about
And
something.
there was no ubiquitous sex scenes there to fill it out either, so they actually didn't have time to put one in.
Yeah, and they kind of started right at the beginning off the bat, instead of just like Hellfest, where they just say, let's discuss our clothing options.
I'm going to wear so-and-so. What are you going to wear? No,
Yeah.
go away. What a
Yeah,
waste of time.
I know that in Hellfest they did an actual haunt, and they were trying to keep it as real as possible. I don't know.
Yeah, but they didn't have to spend that much time in the bedrooms to figure out what they're going to wear
Yeah.
before they got killed, Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Here. Oh, excuse me, back again.
Yes, I kind of agree with you, Mike. I don't like ones where they just sit around, talk for half an hour into. I mean, not half an hour.
Well,
30
they
or
wasted the first bit of
like
the
30
movie
or
and
20
that other
minutes.
movie,
That's
but
boring.
not this one. This worked good. They got.
It got to the meat of the film.
Yeah, they got out. They got out to the night spot. She was being stalked, creating a bit of atmosphere, a bit of tension. So it started pretty fast.
Yeah, it
the
did.
first 10 minutes or so,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
in the first 15 or 20 minutes, they were at a bar. She gets the weird stalky guy in the red outfit.
About
and
5 minutes later at the haunt, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. It moved along quite nicely.
I
Yeah.
agree. And instead of just waiting for the right time to go to these places.
Yeah.
I mean, I like haunt movies. I just like the ones that just move forward and don't dwell on too much boring stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we know people go to the toilet. But you don't. How many times you see people saying, "Oh, I'm doing a toilet break back in 5 minutes"? They don't put that in the film. So why they put all the other padding in there?
I don't know, Mike. I wish
yeah.
I do.
Anyway, look what I was going to say. I don't know where it was actually filmed at, whether it was a real barn or a real haunt or anything. However, it was actually filmed in a place called Covington, Kentucky. Now, you guys, the Americans, you know where that is? I got no idea.
Yeah, filmed in Fort Thompson, as you said, Kentucky.
Fort Thompson, is it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess it's a
town or something.
town or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the geographics in America.
Yeah, and it says here the crew dressed up in costumes for
the crew,
Halloween,
was it?
which was one of the days this movie was shot on.
Oh, well, yeah, it would have been possibly. Principal photography began in October 2017. So, yeah.
And according to this, the filmmakers visit variety of haunted house attractions in Kentucky. I guess to get inspiration a little bit.
So
here
whether
and
it's the real one or they did a mock-up one, I've got no idea. However, it looked good. I'd go there. Not. People die.
Yeah, they were intending to to shoot this in a warehouse in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, that same
but
area.
I guess they didn't. It didn't go according to plan. As most films do.
Well, like I said, yeah. So whatever. Yes, you got the little list of little trivia notes there, have you, in front of you?
Of course I do.
Oh well. Any other piece of little tidbits there? Tasty
give me a
bits,
minute here.
nibblies?
So anyway,
Just talk amongst yourselves a minute. Do. There's a bit of shopping music on. What?
oh yeah, here's something. When the characters' phones were being checked, the second phone had a picture of the one to 74 bridge that connects to I don't know what this place is. Iowa.
Iowa, okay.
And I don't know this other place. And the directors are from this area, known as the those in that area.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
You're waffling now.
It is weird.
Nothing else. That's good. Right.
Oh,
now.
here's one.
Okay.
The production was halted when a man was stabbed, and the police shooting was near the camp. The place.
A crime was
canvas.
committed somewhere nearby. Okay, right.
Yeah, this often happens, and I guess it would be.
They got no considerations, have they? Having doing a movie here.
Yeah, well, it happens, Mike. It even happens here a couple of times, which is not really great.
Yeah, not very nice. But anyway, any more little tidbits there? No, that's good. Fine.
Well,
okay, now critics. General consensus: Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, and a few others. Yeah, I liked it. Bugger. Isn't it funny that? Rotten Tomatoes gave it about 69%. Metacritic gave about similar, another 69%. And a guy called Albert Nowicki included the film on his list of the best Halloween movies of all time.
Sweet.
And I gather he works for Prime Movies. So, yeah. So there you go. Not a lot of feedback on it, but those who have bothered to comment liked it.
Yeah.
And we liked it. Mm-hmm. And the cat liked it. The cat didn't leave the room, did she?
No.
Meow. Oh, she did sleep through bits of it. But anyway, there's Black Cat Productions,
Well, this is Boys and Ghouls, but Black Cat Productions is where we put it on.
Is our umbrella. And our black cat, well, it's actually black. She's actually blue tortoiseshell. She slept through it. Didn't scare her too much, but she's a brave cat. Yeah. Anyway, now, can I think of anything else? Can you want to say anything before?
Yeah, I would like to hear. I know you said the reception was good, but I would like to hear one of the reception's comments on this movie. It would be nice to see.
It didn't say much. Okay, I got one. Here it is. Rotten Tomatoes, blah, blah, blah. The site's critics' consensus reads, okay. Horde is spooked by the spirits of its obvious influences. Mm-hmm. All right? Because obviously they've taken ideas from other things. But still packs enough thrills and chills to satisfy horror fans up for a haunted house excursion. There you go. Mm-hmm. That's the only words I've got to say. Yeah. Ta-da. So that's the general consensus there, at least from those guys. And that's my idea too. I think as an attraction, the way it was set up was pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. And for a movie site, wasn't bad. Like I said, if it was real, it could have been fun to go through. But we don't know whether it was a real one or a mock-up. Yeah, so anyway, getting on to availability for you little cinema buffs out there. eBay, there's plenty for sale. Amazon, you can rent it through Prime or you can buy them. And obviously it's out there in other platforms and media outlets and probably streaming and stuff. It's a good movie.
Agreed.
I would agree with the that reviewer saying, yeah, it's one of the best of this type of movie. I mean, the other ones are more, I've seen a horror comedy or comedy horror, whatever. This is an under-slasher movie. They took the comedy crap out and made it more serious and darker. And I do happen to like serious and darker. And this really ticks all the boxes. So, yeah, I was impressed. There you go.
And I'm glad the other reviewers thought it was just as good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we got a good... we don't have to argue with the reviewers in this.
Yeah, say calling them knuckleheads or anything else. Or you can't bag it because you don't like that sort of movie. They like the ones who bothered commented. Mm-hmm. Liked it. So that's good. And actually, even Rotten Tomatoes, like I said before, that was done. That was 48 reviews. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too bad. Mm. So it wasn't just 3 or 4 votes. So it's a good indicator. It's not bad, and we liked it. But again, it didn't make a lot of box office only because it had a very limited release. So I don't know what it's done in home release sort of stuff, home media. So it could have made a lot more money. It could have made 10, 15, 20,
Yeah.
30 mil. Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, I did like the tradition style they did for this movie, where they made the final girl has a few problems in her past, a dark,
Bit of dark history.
dark character history, and it adds. Unlike other ones who just they just don't really do it for me, when they just don't really reveal too much of a backstory in a character.
See,
I mean, sure, there are times when you want to support them, but other times you want to deck them because they're so horrible to you.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you on some of it, and sometimes I'm not. I don't think you always need a backstory on every person in every movie all the time. If you're going to get straight into the action, let's look at what's a good movie? Look at Trick or Treat. Okay, the anthology sort of thingy. There's hardly any backstory in there. It's got straight into telling the stories.
Exactly so.
You didn't need a backstory for every individual. If you did that, the movie would be 10 hours long. Yeah, so you don't need to have a backstory on everybody as long as the story is strong enough. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, so let's rate this movie now. So that I don't really have anything else to say about it.
Well, you go first. You go first. I often go first.
Well, I usually, yeah, good point. I rate this about 10 out of 10 for this movie.
Yeah. I would be up there too. I don't think there's any weak points in the movie. So,
no weak points. No, this character's very weak or anything like that. Or,
I found the people were believable in their roles.
Yeah.
I think the story was strong enough. The DOP, the cinematographer stuff was good.
Yeah.
I cannot find anything majorly wrong with this movie. If you like this sort of stuff, which I do, slasher horror type stuff, it really doesn't tick all the boxes. So I'm going to have to give it probably 9.5 to 10 myself.
Yeah, I mean, normally I don't like it when my slasher killers talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like it when they're silent killers, even though that doesn't make sense in the in my thoughts. But that's how I feel about it sometimes.
Well, Michael Myers doesn't say too much. Jason Voorhees doesn't say too much.
Yeah, and a lot of other slashers.
Freddy Krueger won't shut up.
Much. Yeah, he always has the last laugh. That one, and most of the time his movies are has a comedy horror based on it.
It is, but I like Freddy. But anyway, the point is that a lot of the antagonists in these movies don't say too much.
No,
you might get the odd word here or there, or nothing at all.
Yeah,
and that's it. And that's part of building up the suspense and terror, which is great.
Yeah, it's always so. It's always something interesting to find out your character doesn't talk very much. I mean, it's just adds a little bit of creepiness to it. You don't.
Could you imagine Michael Myers walking into a house and saying, "Oh, hello, I'm Michael Myers. I'm going to come along. I'm going to kill you in a few minutes."
It's just like when you look at.
It'd take something away from the movie, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's just like looking at a zombie. I should mention in this movie, our antagonist is actually watching. Our protagonist, I should say, was watching Night of the Living Dead. Like when we were watching Tales of Halloween, they were watching Night of the Living Dead.
Good old George Romero created something.
It's interesting that these people also were a fan of the George A. Romero's stuff too.
Well, the early masters of horror, they did it on a shoestring budget, and they still made good movies. So and that's where you got to look at.
Yeah, and I like it that they took a few good influences here and
there. If I could get an old house like that Night of the Living Dead was done, and one you can trash a little bit, and had the same basic setup, I would like to do a remake of it. But a remake was done of Tony Todd, wasn't it, or somebody? Or no?
Tony Todd.
Yeah.
It's interesting how he took part in that.
Yeah.
Even though
that was a remake, a couple of years later.
Yeah. Although I did like it. I did like the fact they changed it slightly, and I liked it that. What was it? Tom Savini directed it, I think it was.
Tom, he gets around that Tom.
Tom Savini told me one time that he actually helped with the makeup in some of the Night of the Living Dead film franchise. You know,
Yeah, in the early days.
In the early days.
Yeah.
And he even asked George at the time, why don't you do a POV shot with the zombies? It will be suspenseful and really creepy. But I guess George had a different idea of how he would like to film his zombies. Does not
POV sometimes works.
I do.
To see the person's looking straight at the camera, shock horror. But I am sort of I'm against people looking at the cameras too much.
Well, that's the fourth wall. That's not the same thing, Mike.
No, but if you're doing a POV shot, they're looking towards the camera more, aren't they? Right? Right?
It's sort of.
Yeah, I was saying, and when they're looking more towards the camera, shock horror, sometimes it takes a little bit away because they're looking at the camera and you don't see what they're seeing. I'd rather see a shape or something in the background they're reacting to. That's what I'm talking about. You were POV shots.
Yeah, POV shots is the camera who's the eyes
That's
of
what
the
I just
individual, and I don't see a big problem using that shot because
but not
I
all...
always think that's very suspenseful and leaves you wondering who that person, whether it is a zombie or an ordinary person.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it overdone. I said, okay, have it done there because look, shock horror. Well, I don't mind the stalking. You're going around looking like the camera tray going around the house and. Yeah, it's supposed to be the killer or whatever, but not having someone reacting to the camera going, scream horror.
Yeah, it is a bit strange when you look at the human eye. You don't see too much shaking, but when it comes to a camera, it always shakes.
Yeah, and that's
even though your eyes are always adjusting to whatever angle
your eyes
you're
compensate.
Moving.
Yeah. It's really good. It's like a good steady cam in your head. Really good.
Yeah. Or, exactly. Like the electronic steady cam, which can, if you're looking at a certain subject, it would move to the subject. It will readjust its position no matter where it goes.
It won't jiggle too much. It'll be nice and smooth. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really clever how they do it.
Anyway.
I have one of my own, but I haven't even mastered it because they always keep saying you must use your phone as a bit of a guide to work.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure how to
we'll have a look at it one day. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if.
And there must be an app on your phone, a bit like or you might. Yeah.
Well, most of these things they often ask you to go on the internet, and my phone at the moment cannot go onto the internet right away for some reason. It's a new phone and it won't do that. Don't know why. It's
Technology is a wonderful thing, isn't it, folks?
Yeah. Well, it also has many problems. Anyway, I'm not here to discuss my phone problems. So anyway, I be sure to check out this movie when you can.
I haven't said where you can get it.
Okay, go on.
Have I? Oh, no, I did. No, I did only on.
I did
ages ago. Yeah. eBay and whatever. Yeah, on Amazon. Yeah. Rent it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Let's kill it. These people want to go to bed now, or go and go and watch a movie. This is a good movie if you download it.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, check it out and let us know in the comments what you think of this movie. Okay. And all that stuff. Anyway, thanks for listening to our latest podcast, everyone. This is Sarah Stephenson.
Yeah, and Marvel.
Saying, see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls.
Bye.
Ooh. Bye, guys.
She scared me.